Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is May the 10th, Sunday morning. We're in for a treat today. We have a special guest speaker. He's going to come up in just a minute. My friend Willie from Cuba. He's a Cuban patriot. He loves his country, and he really is a wonderful, wonderful Christian and a wonderful believer, and he has made a difference in so many lives. I am so glad Willie is here today. If you're in church today, you're hearing Willie. He's speaking at both services this morning. He spoke at 9 this morning at Bentonia, now 11 here in Flora, and he is going to be around for a few more days and then off to Louisiana, where he'll speak in a church there around Harahan or Destrehan, somewhere in Louisiana, and where a church has been involved. I got involved in Cuba about 23 years ago, and the first Cuban I ever met was Willie, and so all of you know that we've been going ever since. I started in missions in 1997 with a trip to Zimbabwe, and then I moved over into Chile, and then into Cuba, and we've been in Cuba, and in 2019 we added Uganda. So ground zero for us in our missions is Uganda and Cuba. So we pray for both of them all the time. Friends, this is May the 10th, May the 31st, Sunday morning, May the 31st at the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to worship God. That'll be the fifth Sunday of the month, and we're going to stay and have lunch together. Fifth Sunday lunch. We want you to come wherever you are. If you're watching this in Alaska, come on down. Wherever you're watching this, come and eat lunch with us. Vacation Bible School is coming up. I think the 13th to the 16th or something like that of June. I better double check on that. But Vacation Bible School is coming up in June. We have the Motion Conference in July, and there's some other things cooking, and so we're excited about that. Friends, in just a moment, you're going to meet one of my oldest and dearest friends from my oldest friend in Cuba, and dearest friend from Cuba. You know Ephraim. He lives here in Mississippi. He is also from Cuba, and I know Ephraim from Willie. And he was one of Willie's lieutenants and an interpreter back in the day. Now he does technology for one of the schools right here in town, Tri-County Academy. So we want to make sure that you are able to connect all these dots. And maybe you've never been to Flora, or you just listen to us and whatnot. We have a ministry here in Cuba and in Uganda, and it is just a wonderful thing. If you would like to participate in that, we would like for you to. You can send a donation to the church or send it to Scott Carter Ministries. That's my 501c3, and that money, we have no salaries, we have no overhead, and we send out one newsletter a year. And we cut this thing all the way down so that when you send $1, you know that your dollar is going exactly where you think it ought to. All right, friends, thank you for joining us. Willie is coming up next, and so we're going to pause right now. And the next person you'll see right here is my friend Willie from Cuba.
Good morning, friends. It's a tremendous blessing to be here. I was talking to Pastor Scott and Ephraim that last time we was here was before the pandemic, years ago, and always it's so good to come here to Mississippi. I have a good friend here that he said that the food in Mississippi is better than the food in the north, So I'm so grateful to the Lord to have such friends here and families. So we are very grateful to Jesus. As you hear me, my English is very broken. I really can't do anything about it, but like I say before, years ago here in the church, I wanted that you do something for me, and he's tried to remember a TV show that was making America in 1950s, named I Love Lucy. Ricky Ricardo Desjarnes was from Havana, Cuba, so he have quite access. So please have mercy of my English today, my broken English. Sometimes when I visit my son in Ohio, people stop me in Walmart, and other places, and say, "Oh, you have an accent." I said, "Yes," and then, but I like it, And they say, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from the South." So then they said, "Really?" They get suspicious. They say, "Yeah, wait a minute. 90 miles South Key West is an island named Cuba. This is where I come from. My wife and I, we live there, part of the family, and we had the ministry named Cuba Connection Ministry over there that we have been working with Scott Karen Ministry and Florida Methodist Church for more than 20 years. Scott is one of our older friends, and during all this year, the church here and the ministry have making a tremendous impact in Cuba, doing conference. In fact, last December, we have a conference with 900 people at the ministry farm. They provide training for the pastors, a good teaching, a good food. So 900 churches from different background denomination came because God used them, you, to help them to go to make the difference in Cuba, one of the last communist nations in the world till today. And I wanted to share some testimony. I was telling Pastor Scott, hey, maybe some of you already know some of the testimony that I will say, but I know more people coming to the church, so maybe some of you don't know. And some people ask me, Willie, where Cuba Connection Ministry start? And I say, Cuba Connection Ministry started in 1940 in Alabama. And this is the story that I was telling before about this American young girl from the South in the middle of nowhere in Alabama. Her name was Miss Leora Shank. Leora was in her 18, 19 years old, and she was sent as a missionary to Cuba because in her heart, she felt, to preach the gospel, take Jesus to those who don't know him. Well, the church sent to Cuba, and she ended up in a small town named Santa Rosa, 150 kilometers east to Havana. In Santa Rosa was a dirty town. Farmers in Cuba, very tough. Maybe here a little more softer, but in Cuba, they were very tough, and they don't accept her. Because Leora, at the very beginning when she came riding a horse. Farmers at that time, they don't like girls driving a horse. And the big scandal was when Leora was driving a car. At that time, they was horrified, And then her broken Spanish, like my broken English, was very hard for her. One day, you know what happened? She, instead to go and talk directly to the farmer, she started to help them. She started to help driving oxes. She started to help them planting corn because she was a girl from the South, from the middle of nowhere in Alabama. Little by little, she started this little Methodist church. One day, Leora met this Cuban girl, also a beautiful girl with 3 kids, named Margarita. Margarita, she was a little involved in witchcraft, Santeria. But yeah, next Sunday, Margarita showed up in church. She listened about Jesus, and Margarita gave her heart to the Lord. Margarita was my grandmother. In 1940, when my grandmother said, Jesus changed the destiny of my family, guys. Today, 2 of my children are pastors. The third one works in ministry. My sister is a pastor. My brother works in ministry. My cousin Jose, his wife, pastors also. Because somebody in 1940 took the seed of the gospel and plant in the heart of my grandmother and the whole generation, change the destiny because they. So I wanted to encourage you today, those who are watching me, don't be afraid to share Jesus to other people. You don't know if it is the last day of this person that is coming, is close to you. Today is a world that politically correct. I need to be very careful. I need respect the space of the people. Yeah, that's fine. I don't criticize anything. But what about if we share Jesus? Probably we are changing generation if this person accept the Lord. I wanted to talk to you today about one word: persistence. Persistence is one of persistencia in Spanish is one of my favorite words in the dictionary. And persistence is what we went through Cuba all this time. In 1959, in Cuba was a communist revolution. Till today was very, very difficult during the first years and even today, persecution against the church, persecution against everybody who think different, really make very hard. My parents, they have a piece of land, and they was try always force to get into the co-op, co-op, and was very, very difficult. We went to church, we continued, our family persistent in the faith. Even when my father was threatened, even when my grandfather was threatened, even when we had big problems with authority because we have three capital things. Number one, we was Christian. Number two, we have a piece of land and we was accused to be capitalist. And number three is part of some people in my family used to fight the government before. So I grew up with these three marks, and one thing that the Lord always gave us was number one, persistence, faith, and hope that the things will change. And it changed. In 1980s, God sent a tremendous revival to the nation of Cuba. And those people, like my generation, that was training a very extreme, heavy Marxist ideology, start to come into Christ. Start to come into Jesus. Because my Jesus, the Jesus that I believe, changed life and changed generation. So today in Cuba, the situation has changed a lot. Since this church here, Scott Carter, and all the people in the church start to come to Cuba, many things have changed. And today we have one of the more difficult times in our history. I'm 58 years old, and I never saw something like that. Many things are collapsing in Cuba right now. Hospitals are collapsing, economy, people are losing their job. People can't, most of the time, they can't effort to buy food. It's a lot of lack of hope. But guess what? Even in the middle of the mess, even in the middle of the darkness, one light bright. The home churches, the churches in Cuba that have the doors open, those churches that have the persistence to continue ahead during the hard time, today are the light, are like house light for the people. And guess what? Young people, children, every age people start to coming to the Lord right now. Every neighborhood, every city, every village. I mean, it's amazing. People that have been, even non-believer, even member of the party, even people who are police, even are people that I never thought they will come into God. They are coming to Jesus. And you know why? Persistence. You know why? Faith. You know why? Because the Jesus that we believe. So today I wanted to ask you a couple of things. Number one, never ever give up. Never give up in your family, in your faith. It's not worthy to giving up. Costs you more to giving up that have the persistence to continue ahead in your faith. Probably now you have problem in your family. Probably right now you are complaining about the price of the gas. Well, let me tell you, Maybe you will not believe you about $35-40 in Cuba right now, 1 gallon, what we learn is never complain. Never complain. Try to accept things as God sent it to us. So this is in a little bit word, in a few minutes that I'm telling you what is going on in Cuba. We need you. We need you. Why we need you? We need you, number one. We need you pray for us. Why? Because just to know over there that we have people here in Florida, Mississippi, praying for us, giving us fuerzas, strength, and help our faith and help our persistence. You don't have a clue how important for us was, for example, in December, when a team from this church and other people went to Cuba and have this conference over there. I wanted that you just see for a moment the happiness, and even in the middle of the circumstances of the people over there, the hunger of the people when the preachers was teaching, because it's a hunger of God. And we need you. We need you walking with us today with Cuba Connection Ministry with Cuba in the ways that the Lord showed you here today. We are here to get commitment. We are here to get your relationship and your heart. It's two kind of people in the world. I don't know, number one kind of people, in my opinion, are those that sitting very comfortable in their couch with the Coca-Cola and listen CNN or Fox, whatever, and complain how bad things are in US or how bad things are in the world and do nothing. But those people that sitting and watching and decide to do something. So this church, Calcari Ministry, Florida Church, are the second group that decide to do something. And today we invite you to be in the second group, if it is okay to you too, and start to do something. And we high encourage that can be in Cuba. So today, I really wanted to say thank you very much to the Lord for the opportunity to be here. And we wanted to invite you to go to Cuba. Are you crazy, Willie? With the situation that is in Cuba, you see what happened in Venezuela? And probably it will happen in Cuba. Yeah, but we want to invite you to go to Cuba as a messenger of hope, as a message at bringing the love of God to our people, our nation. Let the politicians solve the problem. You and I, we can do something, and it's love and spread the gospel of Jesus. My opinion today, the only salvation Cuba has today is through Jesus. This is our opinion. What you can do in Cuba, you can do a lot in Cuba. Help with the conference. In the conference, help maybe with the children. Go to the Handicapped Children Ministry that we have about 40 families. We just got a place for a family. You will not believe this. The ministry just got a place for a family that had a single mother, 3 handicapped children. They was living literally in a pig pen, literally. It was an old pig pen, and they have a bad roof, and she entered there. So the ministry just bought a house. And even the people in the church, my sister is a pastor, even when they had a few, you can see people bringing something to them, a towel, a generosity of the people was shown over there, because we learn from the Lord and also for the generosity of this church. So we wanted to finish, I don't know how much time we have, to continue to invite you to be connected with Cuba. And today, I wanted to ask you something. With all respect, don't be offended on me. But I wanted to ask you something. Don't complain. And probably you say, Willie, I have the right to complain. And with all respect, you don't. No, you don't. This mother was living in a pig pen. But you know how many other people have almost the same situation? Not just in Cuba, but in Uganda, around the world. You know how many people wanted to be in your position. So thanks God every day for the possibility and the opportunity that you have. Be grateful and do something about. Today I wanted to pray for you. If it is okay, I don't know, Brother Scott, if we are still in time, if we have a couple minutes or we just finished, but we just wanted to pray for you. Do you mind if I pray in Spanish? Because guess what? The Lord also speaks Spanish, you know? So please, over there where you are, close your eyes or not, whatever you wanted to do, but be in prayer. I wanted to pray for you. Padre, en el nombre de Jesús, en este momento yo te pido por todas esas personas que están en este momento viendo, Señor, en este video. Ayúdalos, bendícelos, prospéralos, llénalos de ti, Señor. Y dales agradecimiento, Señor, para seguir adelante en sus vidas. Bendícelos, Señor, en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. And if it is okay with you, you know, let me finish with a couple words in Spanish, but I wanted to encourage you. Remember, persistence can save you. Persistence can even save sometimes the faith. This is and the hope is a little bit deeper, but persisting. Even when you lost everything, persisting. So let me teach you some word in Spanish. Hasta la vista, baby. Be back.